given point. This weapon will pierce and hit multiple enemies, yet it's still able to absolutely destroy anything with a high health bar, which is absolutely fantastic. Alrighty boys, welcome back once again to another video. How you guys doing? Guys, today we're going to be going over the new Hot Mix pistol in Fortnite Save the World, and this is part of the Boombox set. We just got it with the most recent content update, and to be honest with you guys, this pistol actually surprised me in many more ways than just one. Yesterday we did a Twitch stream on twitch.tv/demonjoefr, and whenever I got my hands on this weapon, it actually really surprised me in the amount of damage it can do, and just how effective it really can be. I would go as far as to say that this is the best piercing pistol that we've gotten thus far, but it's definitely not going to suit every single type of playstyle. But let's go ahead and jump into it and start talking about it. We'll first start off with the perks on this weapon. So this is the Hot Mix pistol right here. Of course, it's got a cassette tape and, you know, it's just music theme, pretty much just like any other weapon. It may look like it causes a lot of noise, but this is one of the most quiet weapons I've ever shot in my life playing this game. The perk rolls that we have on this weapon is a crit damage, crit rating, damage, crit damage. Crit is the best build that you can do in this game, especially with the new team perk, and this is what I found to be the best kind of perks that you can get on this weapon. If you want more consistent crit, you can swap this out for another crit rating, but because of the new team perk and because of the wafers and all that kind of stuff, there really is no reason to do that. Taking a look at these stats, we have damage and headshot damage. Unfortunately, there is no headshot damage multiplier, so they are the exact same. A 38% crit hit chance, 395 crit hit damage with my build, a fire rate of almost 3, which is pretty good, a magazine size of 30, which is really good, a really low range, 1.4 reload time, which is great, and almost 2,000 impact, which is fantastic. The final perk on this weapon says hitting an enemy with this weapon has a small chance to cause it and nearby enemies to dance and take fire affliction for a short time. Does not affect enemies that have recently been dancing and does not affect miss monsters or bosses. Looking at the description, it says pistol, boombox, and it fires a pair of sonic blasts that pierce nearby enemies, and it boasts a large clip with low recoil, and this hot mix will really get your feet moving. Now, let's go ahead and show off the loadouts that we are using with this weapon. I'm going to show off two really quick. First off, I want to show off Beetlejuice. This is like the number one loadout that you want to use in terms of just getting damage out. You can use Beetlejuice with the new team perk, sub wafers and battle beat, and mad tidings, hip shot, and locked and reloaded. However, Wildcat is my new favorite hero, as you don't have to worry about eating wafers to keep your buff up, as you only need to get 4 kills and then you can have a buff and sustain it for a really long time. We are going to be doing the review with Wildcat, but I do have a clip to showcase what a Beetlejuice smasher test does look like, so there will be a little bit of Beetlejuice gameplay in here to kind of showcase how it works. We have the totally rocking out team perk, we have fumble and sub wafers, make it count, hip shot, and mad tidings to go with this build. Now, we of course are going to be jumping into a palatable 124 zone, seeing as we are solo, and seeing as there really is no other good mission right now. I do want to do rescue the survivors. Eliminate collect is bugged right now, otherwise I would run it, but the enemies despawn super quickly. So we're going to do rescue the survivors. We got plenty of chances for encampments, for some defenses, and as well as some smasher tests. So let's go and jump into it and let's see exactly how effective this weapon can be in game. Alrighty boys, so here we are in game with the Hot Mix pistol. I just came across myself a little bit of a smashy boy, so what we're gonna do, kill his minions, kill him, check out and see exactly how good this weapon is on some single target damage, and then just kind of roam the map, you know, save some survivors, do some encampments, and just kind of get a general feel for the weapon, and I'll talk to you guys about how I feel about it. We of course did a lot of tests over on twitch.tv, so I have a pretty positive opinion about this weapon overall, but let's go ahead and jump into it. So let's go and get rid of these people right here that are guarding Mr. Smashy Boy. He's actually going to rush at us, make our job a little bit easier. Oh god. Okay, so we got some husklings, but that's okay. Get rid of the Riot Boy. Unfortunately, this weapon only does pierce husks, so it's actually not going to pierce the Riot Shield. See if we can get this guy to charge at us again. Please? Maybe? No? Okay. Come here. Come hither. There you go. There you go. Okay, so we got the smasher. We're going to go ahead and slow field him. We don't have a headshot multiplier on this weapon, so I'm just going to shoot him wherever. Let's see if I can get him to smash really quick. There we go. All right, eat my wafer, and let's unload on this smasher. So this guy is elemental. We are using an energy weapon, so we're doing 25% less damage than usual, and as you guys can see, we just annihilated him with the hot mix. Why exactly does that matter? This weapon is a piercing weapon. This weapon is supposed to be multi-target, and the case that I make for a lot of multi-target weapons is that because they are multi-target, they're really not meant to be really good against single target enemies, aka just doing a single smasher or shooting at a single enemy at any given point. This weapon will pierce and hit multiple enemies, yet it's still able to absolutely destroy anything with a high health bar, which is absolutely fantastic. This weapon not only can kill smashers in a very timely fashion, but it can do blasters, it can do takers, it can kill up to like, 5 husks in one burst of this weapon, as it does shoot 2, bullets at the same time. And this is one of the first times that I've seen a multi-target weapon being able to do stuff like this, which I found very interesting. This weapon just does an extremely, crazy amount of damage that I really wasn't expecting at first, and it just kind of blew my mind a little bit. Normally we don't see this because those weapons can be a little bit overpowered. However, this weapon does have its own little shortcomings due to this huge amount of damage that it can do. And that shortcoming would really come in the form of 2 different things. One would be the range. This weapon is very limited on its range, and it's very similar to the Plasmatron in that regard, that you do have to get very close to your enemies before you are able to touch them. However, I do think that this weapon is better than the Plasmatron. I was doing some testing off camera, and I found that this weapon actually doesn't ignite propanes. If I do find a propane in this gameplay, I will show you guys that it does not, but this weapon in particular does not ignite propanes, while the Plasmatron in fact does. Meaning that this weapon is actually extremely useful in trap tunnels, as long as you know what you're doing. You don't want to get yourself blown up or have a propane go off because you're too close to it. This weapon can be extremely useful near and inside of trap tunnels because of this. It shoots in groups of 2, meaning that you can hit the first husk with 2 shots, and then it's going to pierce through him and then hit all of his buddies, and then hit those guys with 2 shots, and then keep on going until it runs out of range and whatnot. You guys are actually seeing the 6 perk go off right here, and I do find that the 6 perk is probably the weakest portion of this weapon, the weakest kind of 6 perk that you really can get, because it only really just starts making husks dance at random occurrences after dealing damage to them. Here's a little bit of an example of the range. After dealing damage to them, and normally that's not really that great. It would be nice to be able to get a guaranteed dance off of just killing an enemy. However, it is pretty good against high health enemies like mini bosses and such, and the affliction damage that it does, I tested it against even nature enemies, and the affliction even on nature enemies, since seeing as it is fire, still isn't that great. So the 6 perk isn't really anything to write home about. However, the damage absolutely is. Now, earlier I was saying that this weapon really isn't intended for all, kind of play styles, really. It's not exactly going to appeal to everybody, and in fact, it really doesn't even appeal to me. However, I do want to acknowledge that this weapon is great because, you do have to get really close to your enemies before you are able to kill them. This weapon does fire and burst, and another thing that I don't really care about this weapon is the fact that it is a projectile-based weapon, and I find that kind of annoying. I was doing a little bit of testing on stream, and I was doing just a normal Atlas mission, and there was husks all over the place. Some were, near the objective all clumped up, but whenever they weren't near the objective and clumped up, I found it very annoying because they would be running side to side to different areas, and I was finding it hard to keep up with them and being able to hit them with this projectile. It's not too bad because you are already close to begin with, but it was a little bit of a gripe that I had, that I just wish that I was using another weapon, essentially. But if you guys don't mind projectiles, if you guys have liked the Whisper 45 in the past, maybe even the Ghost Pistol or the Yeoman or anything like that, then you probably wouldn't find it to be too big of a deal. We did come across some propanes, and as you guys can see, it doesn't ignite propane. If I do switch, however, to the Plasmatron, the Plasmatron will ignite propane, so that is kind of unfortunate, and because of that fact alone, really, I would like to proclaim this weapon to be one of the best piercing weapons that I've used, because of just the sheer output of damage that it can do, the fact that it's going to pierce your husks as well and do multi-target damage, the fact that it can make those husks, dance and cause additional affliction damage, which although it is a little bit lackluster at times, it is always a welcome addition. But yeah, it's essentially just a close range monster that is multi-target and single target, can make enemies dance, can make them drop their propanes, put them away, doesn't ignite propane and all that kind of stuff, and it really just has a deep magazine as well, and it just has a really good time to kill. So that's kind of my general feeling on this weapon. It's something that I'm not personally going to use that much, but I do want to talk about it in a positive light, because all in all, whether I like the playstyle or, you know, it suits my playstyle, it is a weapon that I do think is very good. Would I personally perk it up if I had the chance? You know, I already did it, but let's say I haven't. I wouldn't perk it up because I wouldn't use it. However, if it's something that you don't mind projectiles, you don't mind close range or anything like that, then it's definitely the weapon for you. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much it for this video. I would personally proclaim this weapon to be the best piercing pistol in the game, as the Ghost Pistol and the Plasmatron and anything like that, they don't really have anything on this weapon. Plasmatron will ignite your propane. It also has slightly less range, and this weapon can be, you know, single target, multi-target, make them dance, drop their propane, doesn't explode them, does crazy damage. All in all, it's a pretty good weapon. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But yeah, guys, that is it for the hot mix. The next video that you guys should be seeing from me is going to be in regards to the Twine rewards that Dave the Buck is going to be posting on Reddit. So hopefully we can get some pretty interesting content in the game really soon. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this weapon review. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.